We pick things up deep inside the mysterious universe boat. Lu Feng and his teacher, Sitting Mountain Guest, are walking side by side through an incomparably quiet, desolate island.
都会被争夺。黑色信物两大特殊之处，值得我们实验。
There isn't a single plant or natural resource here, just an endless, sprawling complex of ancient palaces. Looking at the grand architecture and the sheer scale of the place, Lu Feng is completely in awe. He points out that whoever built the universe boat must have belonged to a terrifyingly powerful civilization. Sitting Mountain Guest agrees, dropping some heavy context for us. He explains that nobody actually knows which ancient universe era this civilization belonged to. The universe boat was already a broken, drifting relic by the time the two ancient Holy Lands even came into existence. In fact, everything the current heavyweights know comes from scavenging these exact ruins. Sitting Mountain Guest admits that his own legendary skills in crafting true treasures came from studying special situations in these ancient places. The same goes for the notorious 7 true masters of the Divine Eye clan, and even the ancestors of the two Holy Lands. They all built their overwhelming combat and training systems by digging through the remnants of this lost era. As they walk deeper into the central palace, they find massive, ancient sculptures depicting beings cheering, leaders roaring, and brutal wars. The sculptures are so masterfully crafted that Lu Feng can actually feel the raw, bleeding emotions radiating off the stone. But things were about to take a much darker turn. When they finally enter the very center of the complex, Sitting Mountain Guest comes to a dead stop. In the distance stands a gigantic wall covered in complex, ancient characters. Even though Lu Feng has never seen this language before, the sheer willpower infused into the writing forces the meaning directly into his mind. It is a message of absolute, crushing despair. The carvings scream, "A mistake! It's a huge mistake! It costs so much! Yet all I got is death! Deaths upon deaths! I have made a breakthrough! So what? It's death in the end!" The emotional impact of these words hits Lu Feng like a Category 5 hurricane. He can literally hear the vague, low growl of an ancient powerhouse roaring in his ears, filled with endless reluctance. Lu Feng is completely speechless. Whoever left this message was annihilated an uncountable number of eras ago, yet their lingering willpower is still strong enough to physically shake him. Sitting Mountain Guest looks at the wall in silence. Given his supreme power, he isn't mentally overwhelmed by the text, but a profound sadness washes over his face. He slowly turns to Lu Feng and reveals a terrifying truth. The mysterious being who carved those words was vastly stronger than Sitting Mountain Guest himself. In fact, he was stronger than any current universe supreme master. Sitting Mountain Guest suspects that not even Teacher Origin of the human race could have defeated this ancient being. The only person who might have stood a chance was the original ancestor of the two Holy Land universes. And yet, despite possessing that kind of godlike power, this ancient being still met a tragic, unavoidable end. It's a grim reality check. Sitting Mountain Guest points out that while the universe ocean is currently active with experts from the 3 reincarnation eras, millions of eras from now, almost no one currently alive will still exist. But Lu Feng refuses to let that depression sink its claws into him. With his gaze as sharp as a blade, he firmly tells his teacher that as long as they have a glimmer of hope, they have to fight for it. Luo Feng has only been alive for a few 100,000 years, a mere blink of an eye compared to a full reincarnation era. If he has reached this height in such a short time, he is absolutely certain he can forge a path to the top. If there is no path, he will carve his own. Sitting Mountain Guest looks at his disciple and smiles, clearly pleased. He notes that the long, endless periods of time tend to erode the ardor of the older Supreme Masters, but Lu Feng's youthful vigor is a massive advantage. He even jokes that one day, he might need to rely on Lu Feng for help. With the heavy atmosphere lifted, the two of them press forward to see what else this tragic powerhouse left behind. Moving at extreme speeds, Sitting Mountain Guest suddenly darts ahead, arriving inside the courtyard of a massive third palace. When Luo Feng catches up, he is immediately confronted by a gigantic decorative stone wall, towering over 1,000 meters tall. At first glance, Lu Feng realizes the entire wall is composed of countless microscopic secret engravings. They are intricately carved on a nanometer scale, converging together to form a massive three-dimensional diagram. Suddenly, an overwhelming aura violently crashes into Lu Feng's consciousness. The stone wall vanishes from his sight, replaced by an incredibly vivid hallucination. He sees an entirely different world filled with billions of life forms. Rock races, metal races, flesh and blood beings, all kneeling in unison. They are worshipping a singular entity, endlessly chanting the words, "Devil split, The hypnotic chanting hits him like a tsunami, threatening to drown his mind completely. Just before he goes under, a massive surge of godly power violently jolts him awake. Luo Feng, wake up! Luo Feng snaps out of it, drenched in cold sweat, staring at sitting mountain guest in pure shock. If that technique had been executed at its true potential, it would be capable of instantly enslaving billions of souls. Even seasoned universe masters wouldn't be able to resist it. Sitting mountain guest chuckles, calling Lu Feng gutsy for staring directly at the diagram. He explains that this is the ultimate legacy of that ancient existence. A technique so profoundly complex that even sitting mountain guests can only understand a tiny fraction of it. He directs Lu Feng's attention to a smaller adjacent wall containing the final words of that ancient being. The text reveals that this impossible diagram of secret engravings represented the being's absolute highest peak of power, the ultimate technique he had finally comprehended. But it was too late to save him or his people from death. Sitting mountain guest shakes his head, noting that the being didn't leave this behind as a step-by-step inheritance to teach future generations. He just wanted to leave a monument to prove his own peak existence. Because there is no foundational guidance, nobody can actually learn it. Sitting mountain guest sighs, lamenting his own bad luck, before turning back around to find that Lo Feng is staring at the wall again. But this time, it's different. Lo Feng isn't looking at the whole picture. He has isolated his focus on a tiny corner, just 1/10,000th of the entire diagram. Looking at the microscopic structure, he sees how the tiny secret engravings construct themselves, bypassing all the standard laws of gold, wood, space, or time. It is a completely different, unpredictable fundamental flow. Lu Feng gets completely mesmerized. Suddenly, sitting mountain guest shouts to wake him up again. Lu Feng turns, insisting that he isn't being hypnotized this time, but his teacher just shakes his head helplessly. He informs Lu Feng that he has been staring at that tiny corner for 3 solid days. Lu Feng is stunned by how fast the time flew, but he is also incredibly excited. He tells his teacher that studying the fundamental flow of these diagrams might finally be the key to breaking his long stagnant bottleneck in the study of secret engravings. Sitting mountain guest laughs. Since he had to stand around for 3 days anyway, he took the time to study the wall himself and managed to comprehend 5 distinct structural concepts from it. With a wave of his hand, sitting mountain guest etches 5 massive newly simplified diagrams onto a nearby wall. He explains that these 5 diagrams hold about 1/1000th of the power of the original lost knowledge, but they will serve as the perfect stepping stones for Lo Feng to slowly build his understanding. And that's when the real situation revealed itself. Sitting mountain guest tells Lu Feng it's time to go. He casually mentions that he can sense massive shockwaves echoing from the outside world, indicating a brutal fight between Universe Supreme Masters is currently taking place. He even teases that Hugh Jack's creator of the human race might be involved. Hearing that Hugh Jax might be in danger, Lu Feng can't stay calm anymore. He immediately separates a portion of his godly power to form an avatar. For an undying fighter, splitting godly power is highly dangerous and leaves the body weak, but for a universe knight like Luo Feng, leaving a functioning avatar behind is relatively easy. He parks his avatar in the quiet courtyard to study the 5 diagrams indefinitely, ensuring he won't waste this incredible opportunity. With the avatar secured, the two of them board Sitting Mountain Guest's towering Cyan Mountain. The artifact shoots up into the sky, effortlessly bypassing the strange dimensional barriers of the island, and bursts back out into the freezing outer environment of the abyss. Sitting Mountain Guest doesn't hold back. The Cyan Mountain accelerates at a terrifying rate, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and eventually 100,000 times the speed of light. Moving this fast aggressively breaks the natural laws of operation, making them a massive beacon to any supreme master in the area. But Sitting Mountain Guest simply doesn't care. He casually sits back and pours himself a cup of vintage grape wine, knowing that if they travel slowly, the fight will be over before they even arrive. When they finally hit the battlefield, Sitting Mountain Guest waves his hand, turning the walls of the mountain transparent, so Luo Feng can see the carnage. The battle is absolute chaos. In the distance, space and time are violently twisting. At the center of the storm is the brilliant Gold Devil God, a renowned universe supreme master from the Dream Eclipsing clan of the Second Universe era. Due to a unique life mutation, he looks like a child sculpted entirely out of solid gold, possessing 13 arms and 13 bodies. Right now, he is operating the brilliant Gold Beast, an octopus-like mechanical construct with 13 devastating antennae made of weapons. It is a treasure second only to a supreme true treasure, rivaling even the crazy demon extermination godly armor. And he needs every ounce of that power. because he is currently being jumped by two heavyweights from the Divine Eye clan. On one side is the third True Master, known as Star True Master. He is deploying the Star Kingdom, a domain-type supreme true treasure that constantly bombards Brilliant Gold with a relentless storm of massive meteors. On the other side is the sixth True Master, the Green Eye True Master, who is firing devastating soul attacks using his supreme true treasure, the Green Eye Light. Watching the exchange, Lu Feng notes that Brilliant Gold doesn't seem to be using a supreme true treasure of his own, yet he is easily holding his ground. Sitting Mountain Guest quickly corrects him. He points out that Brilliant Gold actually has a heavily shielded palace-type supreme true treasure hidden inside his body. Because he is practically invincible while hiding inside it, the two Divine Eye True Masters aren't actually using their full power. They are just trying to pin him down. Sitting Mountain Guest decides to stir the pot. He projects his voice into the battlefield, casually asking the Divine Eye Masters why they are bothering to attack someone they literally cannot kill. The sixth True Master barks back, accusing Brilliant Gold of hoarding the Extermination Godly Armor and the Shi Wu Wings, and demanding he hand them over. They threaten that two more True Masters from their clan are currently en route, and once they arrive, they will use their combined numbers to permanently seal Brilliant Gold in a pocket dimension. Brilliant Gold is absolutely furious. He screams that he doesn't have the armor or the wings, and points out that he merely stumbled into this area because the Divine Eye clan rudely blocked his path. He dares them to try and seal him, proudly declaring that even if they succeed, the seal will only last until the end of the current universe era. When the era ends, the Divine Eye clan will be permanently wiped out, while Brilliant Gold will easily survive and protect his entire race inside his own miniature universe. Watching the argument, Lu Feng is confused. Why is the Divine Eye clan pushing this so hard if Brilliant Gold clearly doesn't have the loot? Sitting Mountain Guest lays out the brutal truth. The Divine Eye clan doesn't actually care about the treasures. They belong to the first universe era, which means they are standing on the absolute brink of ultimate death when this era concludes. They are terrified, desperate, and lashing out. They are intentionally picking high-profile fights with people like Brilliant Gold to flex their majesty and remind the entire universe ocean that they are still the undisputed apex predators. It's a desperate show of force before the lights go out. But the Divine Eye clan's power trip is about to get violently interrupted. As the two True Masters continue to encircle Brilliant Gold, a massive shockwave rips through the battlefield, violently bouncing the Star Kingdom's meteors out of the way. A towering, gigantic axe flies directly into the center of the standoff. Huge Axe Creator has officially entered the chat. He casually compliments the third True Master's domain skills, completely unfazed by the tension in the room. The True Masters tense up, while Brilliant Gold Devil God laughs in relief at the sudden backup. Sitting Mountain Guest just smiles, thoroughly enjoying the show. But Luo Feng is instantly on edge. With 5 Universe Supreme Masters now crowded into one space, the powder keg is officially lit. How is Huge Axe going to handle stepping into a war zone with 3 angry Supreme Masters? We'll find out in the next breakdown. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the fallout, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. See you guys soon.